Tom, we've been talking about how you've predicted in your book that ISIS, in the next year to 2 years maybe, would detonate some type of weapon of mass destruction somewhere in the world. Maybe Europe, maybe the United States. What will this trigger? There's a couple different things that you've been talking about that it'll trigger. What are these trigger events?
Well, first of all, it's going to trigger what we already talked about. It's going to cause the Muslims to believe that their war is playing out according to their hadith. It's going to cause the Catholics to really start talking about the final Roman emperor. They're going to believe that it's a fulfillment of their apocalyptica. But there are some other things that I think could happen. In fact, the whole thing in Europe right now, these guys are more experts than I am. In fact, Derek's got degrees in economics, and I'm asking them back there, hey, you know, if the European Union falls apart, it ultimately is going to be replaced by something else. And we know that in biblical prophecy, there is going to be this final kingdom on earth, if you will, that'll be headed by the Antichrist. So I was asking them, how do you see maybe something coming out of this? This trigger event is going to put a lot of pressure on the world's governments to create a kind of enforcement, an international enforcement agency that can protect the people of the world. People are going to be crying out for it, and they're going to be willing to lay down their rights to weapons, their rights to anything. If the other thing that we're looking at here is Brexit. They're also talking about abandoning the euro. Now, could this help the dollar? Could the dollar kind of resume its predominance around the world as, you know, kind of the most stable? Yeah, it could. But we also know that the Antichrist is going to have an economic plan of his own, by which no man will buy or sell, save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Did you see all these articles just this last week? U.S. Navy discussed plans to fit humans with microchips and to track their every move. This is a vice admiral with 2 or 3 other members of the Navy meeting with Zoltan Istvan, the transhumanist presidential candidate.
I don't understand why they want it. What's the Navy doing?
And by the way, I'm not even saying that microchipping humans will be the mark of the beast. I think it could be something more exotic. But it's the fact that we're moving to an era where people are talking about this now. They're ready to be branded. They're ready to be interconnected with artificial intelligence systems. Here's NBC News, microchipping children coming sooner than you think. Here's Fox News, are implanted chips the future of boarding passes? Students want to be implanted with microchips. Okay, so those articles go on and on. So just in case you want to do it, I brought an implantable RFID microchip.
You're kidding.
No, I don't want this.
Yeah. And there's the device to implant it under your skin.
You can just buy that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other part of this, which we're starting to see some calls for, if you watch, is that there are prominent economists who are calling for an end to cash, physical money.
Yes.
In fact, a number of high-powered bankers got together at a secret meeting at a hotel in Times Square a few weeks back to talk about developing a digital currency. And there are a couple of reasons for this. First of all, banks want to control all of our money, and they want to be able to start charging negative interest. So if you have money in the bank, they want to charge you for the privilege of holding your money. They're trying that in some countries now. But they've got to get us away from using folding money first. And so you'll see prominent people like the former Treasury Secretary, Lawrence Summers, say the only people who use $100 bills are tax cheats, criminals, and terrorists. In the European Union, they banned the 500 euro note. They're going to get rid of it within a couple of years. Because the only people who use it are terrorists and people who don't want their transactions tracked. So the chip becomes essential if the only way you can move money from one place to another to buy or sell is if it's digital. And that move is coming. If you pay attention to the news, you'll see these stories pop up every now and again about how economists say in order to get the economy moving again, we need to get rid of cash. We need to make it all digital.